There are several mental processes involved in processing oral language at the level that's needed for reading. We're going to define and discuss a few of those processes next. Speech processes are constantly activated in all listening and speaking. They are learned and used by all humans naturally from exposure to a language community. Speech perception, a receptive language process, requires distinguishing and remembering words, including those that differ only in one phoneme, for example, thrill and frill. Speech production, an aspect of expressive language, requires being able to repeat and pronounce words and phrases. Both of these are typically accessible to all young children when they come into kindergarten. Their brains are automatically wired for these phonological processes. Language comprehension depends on processing and storing incoming speech, so it can perhaps be moved into long-term memory. This is thought of as phonological working memory. Students who struggle with working memory may have difficulty with language comprehension and also then with reading comprehension. But comprehension difficulties can also happen for students who have no difficulty at all with working memory. Phonological working memory involves tasks like recalling a series of directions or rehearsing a phone number before dialing or repeating a new word or phrase, or even recalling a series of speech sounds before blending them. During reading or listening, it is necessary to hold language in working memory long enough to extract the meaning of the words. Long-term memory involves tasks such as storing new words in the mental dictionary or recalling what you read or heard yesterday or even before that. Phonological working memory helps you hold incoming speech information for a few seconds until meaning can be extracted. Phonological working memory is evaluated by imitation and repetition tasks, such as phrase and sentence repetition, digit span tests, for example. Behavioral symptoms of poor working memory, phonological working memory in particular, include forgetting directions, forgetting strings of sounds, telephone numbers, lists of names, and so on. The goal is for students to move language and eventually print from working memory to long-term memory. RAN is short for rapid automatized naming. It is a processing skill that seems to be related to and predictive of reading performance, but we are unsure what RAN really is and how it is related to reading exactly. Tests of RAN usually show students a random assortment of alternating pictures of 5 or 10 objects, colors, letters, or numbers, and time how quickly they can name them. Is this a processing task, a naming task, a verbal task? We aren't exactly sure. Students who struggle with RAN often struggle with reading, so the skills are related. But if we improve RAN, reading doesn't necessarily improve. If we improve reading, RAN does tend to improve. So it is predictive of reading, but not a good instructional target. Another mental process that is even more predictive of reading than RAN is phonological awareness. Phonological awareness is the ability to identify, think about, and manipulate sounds in spoken language. Phonological awareness is awareness of units of spoken language that are larger than individual phonemes. So this would be things like working with words in sentences, working with words within compound words, or working at the syllable level of spoken language. This includes skills like clapping words in sentences, blending and segmenting compound words, and even manipulation tasks at larger units than the phoneme. Substituting syllables, such as asking students to say picnic, then change nick to chur. What new word do you have? Picture. Phonological awareness is sometimes referred to as phonological sensitivity, being sensitive to the sound structure of language. What is clear in the research is that phonological awareness is good, but it is not good enough. It's not sufficient. It is essential for students to get to the point of being able to attend to and think about and manipulate phonemes in spoken words. Phonemes are the smallest unit of spoken sound. This includes skills like isolating the first sound in words, picking out the odd man out, so to speak, in a series, like which word is different, ball, baby, man. And skills like being able to manipulate phonemes, blend the sounds b, at into the word bat, or even to segment phonemes in spoken words. Take the word bat and say the individual sounds, b, at. And also manipulating phonemes. Say the word bat, but change the b to s. What word is it? Sat. This is a purely auditory skill. Once you are putting letters with the sounds, it's no longer phonemic awareness. It becomes a phonics task. Phonemic awareness supports phonics. Some degree of it is needed and is helpful before teaching phonics. Students who struggle with phonics are often missing this skill. It is highly predictive of later reading comprehension. It can serve as an excellent screening tool in kindergarten because phonemic awareness tasks, particularly segmentation tasks, clearly differentiate the students who are on track from those who won't be readers in the future unless they get support to learn to manipulate at the segmentation level. Because reading is based in language, it is essential that students develop the ability to parse spoken language into individual phonemes. This is the basis of reading. This is a non-negotiable skill. Students who don't have phonemic awareness are going to sooner or later struggle with reading. Memorizing words can only take you so far. Decoding is essential, and it rests on and depends on phonemic proficiency.